Shahn was born in 1898 in Lithuania, and in 1906 he and his family came to New York. In New York, he lived in a working-class immigrant neighborhood, and when he became a teenager, he left to go to work in a lithography workshop to help support his family. When he was 24, he got married, and they went to North Africa and Paris, where he studied the architecture and art. He experimented with lots of different styles, the styles of the greats like Cezanne and Matisse, but he was particularly impressed by Giotto's frescoes and other Italian mural painters of the time. After this, he decided that even more important than trying to choose a painting style was trying to figure out what he wanted to paint. And what he wanted to paint were stories. He really started to gain attention as an artist when he made his Sacco and Vanzetti series. He was also very interested in photography and had a friend named Walker Evans, who was a street photographer. He sometimes used his friend's photographs as well as a lot of his own photographs as reference for his paintings, because photographs capture small details, and that's what Shahn really loved, the details. In his paintings, he wanted to acknowledge injustices around the United States and in the lives of immigrants and poor people. During the Depression, he went to Washington and was hired as a photographer. He was given the assignment to take photographs that would tell the public as well as Congress of the true conditions of poverty in the South. During this time, he traveled across the eastern and southern United States and met a lot of people. He heard lots of people's stories of life and hardships, and he noticed the great deal of self-respect all the people had, no matter how poor they were. These people, photographs, and stories inspired a lot of his paintings. After his photography project, he went on to make paintings and murals. He created a mural for an immigrant town in New Jersey, and the mural consisted of the ideas of why people immigrate. He included symbols of Nazi Germany and the persecution there. There were images and symbols of freedom and industry and the ultimate dream of farms and factories working in unison. He also created political murals, including the Social Security mural, showing on one side what it was like to not have Social Security, and on the other side what it looked like to have Social Security. He continued making paintings into World War II about the same sense of hope, the sense of loss, and the sense of liberation. He also made illustrations for magazines, textbooks, and advertisements. He drew with a jagged line, which was truly his style, and it was recognized by everyone. When he had a retrospective at the Museum of Modern Art in 1947, the public loved his work, but the critics gave him poor reviews. It was around the time when realism started to become the enemy for a lot of popular artists, including Jackson Pollock at that time. His work did loosen up a bit after that. After his retrospective, he continued making unapologetic political images and was seen as a communist, which he wasn't. He was his own person. He continued later in life making paintings to represent the underdogs and the helpless. He also created a lot of religious-themed paintings and trying to make more universal messages in his paintings, messages that would speak in generations to come. In 1969, Shahn died of a heart attack. Overall, I feel like Shahn's work narrated the struggles of many living throughout the 20th century. He passionately believed that art was to help serve the human condition, point out injustices, and bring people together.